This is Rhonda Scher with Unleashing LinkedIn, and I'm very excited today that I get to interview one of my favorite people, a friend and also a colleague, Michael POSNER. It's my honor to introduce Michael today. Michael is a holistic chiropractor with a wildly successful practice in Huntington, New York since 1983. Michael is a nutritionist, a mentor, a black belt, Tai Chi Kung Master, Indian and I want to say this correctly, Taoist yoga practitioner, author of 2 best internationally selling books on his proven techniques to transformation system, which are based on the 3 ancient secrets of self-healing. Dr. POSNER has over 50 years of wisdom and experience in the healing arts, and he inspires people to transform their physical, emotional, and mental pain in their life by changing workshops and events online and offline, usually saving people a 10 to 15-year learning curve. I can tell you so much more about Michael, but we'll actually get into that when we get into the interview. So, Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Rhonda. Very nice for you to have me on your show. I'm looking forward to sharing my knowledge with as many people as possible. I love to empower people of all ages and sexes with my natural 3-step self-healing process that reduces, eliminates, and in most cases eradicates people's pain, stress, fatigue, depression, and anxiety in the moment as they're going through their normal daily activities. And they don't really need any more time in a particular place or any equipment to implement these techniques. It's just creating a conscious awareness in every moment, which acts as a doorway to internal strength, self-love, and a level of peace that most people just don't even suspect exists.
Well, I know from a personal level, Michael, that I've actually experienced working with you, and it was absolutely pretty amazing. In fact, you've been married how long? Since 1984? How many years?
Well, next week it'll be 37 years.
Wow. And I know that you have a couple of kids and a grandchild. You've actually appeared on TV shows, radio shows. Let's talk just a little bit about, some of the problems that you've been able to help people with and the successes that you've had.
Okay. Well, being a chiropractor, basically my system is about alignment, breathing, and connection, ABC. Now, the connection part is a meditation technique that teaches people how to fall in love with themselves. And what do I mean by that? I mean, most people do not pay any attention to their organs or their brain or their digestive system. We just take for granted that these things should work for us, and thank God for most of the time they do work without any problems or without us acknowledging them. So I teach people to go within themselves to get connected because, our organs are just like people, friends. How would you treat your best friend? Would you be loving and nice? You wouldn't abuse them. You wouldn't take advantage of them and not paying any attention to them. But yet, our best friends are our organs, and we don't even acknowledge their existence most of the time. In fact, I ask people all the time where their organs are. Like I said, where is your spleen, or where is your kidneys, where is your... And most people really don't know, nor do they know what they do for them. So I show people how to make that connection through smiling, believe it or not. When we smile to each other, we feel good. It projects positive energy and stimulates endorphins and feel-good hormones to be released in our brain. And it's kind of like a universal language. You meet people, you smile, everybody feels it, no matter where you are on the planet. So when you take that loving, healing, smiling energy, and instead of directing it out to other people, and you do it inwardly to your organs and your brain and your nervous system and you digest, you heal. It's lifeless energy.
So, Michael, if I'm hearing you correctly, if I was having an upset stomach, how would I take this technique and actually be smiling at my digestive system?
Okay, so first I would have you rub your hands together to create heat in your hands and have you place it over the left side of your body underneath the rib cage and see the stomach in your mind's eye. Now, you may not know what your stomach looks like, so you get a picture online of what the stomach looks like, and you literally smile to it, and you see it in your mind's eye, and you thank it. You see, you thank it for doing all its wonderful work that it does to digest your food, and you feel appreciation and love for it, and then you visualize it being healthy again. You know, people don't realize how powerful the mind is. When, you know, they've done studies where they give people placebos, or they give people fake surgeries and tell them that they did the surgery. Like, for example, they'll take a person has a knee problem, and they'll make 3 holes in their knee, but never do the surgery, and they tell them they did it. And they got just as good results as the people who got the surgery. Or people who take antidepressants, if they think they're taking antidepressants and you give them a sugar pill, instead, believe it or not, 4 out of 5 people respond favorably. So the mind is incredible, and when you know how to use it and direct it in the right way, it is your ticket to healing on levels beyond anything, truly. I'm sorry.
So, Michael, yes. I'm curious. You know, this is probably the first time many people have heard anything about this. What's your backstory? How did you actually come to learn these ancient secrets?
Well, I will have to, do I have permission to reveal my history with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I was born in 1950 to parents that were very old. My parent, well, now it doesn't seem that way, but back then 45 seemed old to have a child. My mother was told that she could never give birth again. And so when she got pregnant with me, she didn't know it. And she just thought she was gaining weight, and that when she felt me moving around, she thought she had gas pains. So in her 7th month, she finally became aware that she was pregnant with me. And it was a major shock to her because she already had grandchildren. So as time went on, you know, I really wasn't paid attention too much. I didn't get a lot of, you know, love and hugs and kisses. And it was sort of like I was the accident. I was even joked about as being an accident all the time. And I didn't think it affected me, but I definitely, as I went to school, I played out. I was aggressive. I got into a lot of fights. I was always in trouble. I never did homework. I never read books. So I grew up, you know, in a bad way. And then I discovered that most of my brothers and sisters had mental illness. So that was the stuff I saw as I was growing up, and it wasn't very good impressions. So when I was like 17, I sort of became like a hippie. And I tuned in, turned on, and dropped out. I, you know, was in my own world. I was doing a lot of substances, and I literally got myself to the point where I was on death's door, and I had to make a decision: do I want to live or die? So I heard about this yoga guru who was moving back to New York from California, and my friend told me that I should reach out to him and ask him if he would train me and help me. And so I, out of desperation, you know, I reached out to him, and he accepted me as a student, but he had a lot of conditions where he made me prove myself to be worthy of being, you know, his student. And he was a karate master as well. So as time went on, I did prove myself. And then one day he just came to my parents' house and said, "You ready to move out?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, we're starting a commune," which turned into an ashram at the time. So I was like shocked, but okay, you know, I was like 18 years old, 19 years old. So I moved in with them, and there I was forced to go to karate, and believe me, it was devastating to me because I was in such poor physical shape from all the drugs I was taking, and I had such a hard time. I was the stiffest person I ever saw. I mean, I literally got physically sick before every class because that's how bad I didn't want to go. But he would grab me by my butt and throw me in the car and make me go. And, of course, I felt great after going and working out. So that continued to happen. I lived there for 5 years. I learned psychology, philosophy, religion, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, many forms of yoga. It was very holistic. He was like a pioneer in holistic health. So he taught me all of those things. And after I got my black belt, after 5 years of torture, I thought to myself, hey, I never thought I could do that. What else don't I think I can do that I would love to do? And I decided I wanted to be a chiropractor. And everybody laughed at me. Like, you? Are you kidding? You never studied, you never read a book, you never did anything. How are you ever going to manage? Well, that angered me. It fired me up, and I said, I'm going to prove to them, and I show them. So I did. I went to undergraduate, and from being mostly almost a high school dropout, I now had an A average and 3.75 average in undergraduate. And I went up to the chiropractic college, and I said, I'm coming here. Notice my name, notice my face. I'm not applying to any other schools. This is where I'm coming. And I would go visit the dean every so often to make him remember me. And sure enough, I got in. So after that, when I got out, I discovered my wife, who was my love teacher. You know, I told you I didn't get much love in my life, and I didn't even believe it was real. I thought that people were hugging each other. It was fake. In my head, I would say, they're not real. They're just making believe they care about each other. And it took me, a couple of years with my wife to open my heart up and to make me feel the love and the connection to people. So that was a major change in my life. And then I started my chiropractic practice, and I found a Tao master. I went to Chinatown in New York City, and I waited all day to speak to this master, and turned out that he was like this guy who brought these techniques that were never written in books. They were only known from father to son. They were passed down through families in China. And, you just couldn't get this knowledge any other way. So I was extremely lucky to meet him and other masters from all over the planet that took me under their wing and taught me these things. And so that completely rehabilitated me from my addictions and got me on my way. And those techniques that transformed my life, I started teaching them to my children. I was meditating with them when they were infants. And then as soon as they could move and walk and play sports, I taught them my alignment techniques, which helped them accelerate. It got my son into Harvard playing lacrosse because he was so advanced physically from all the things I taught him. And my daughter was very connected to her energy, and she became an acupuncturist. So all these techniques I use in my family, and then I started teaching others, and I must have trained thousands of people of all ages, and, they implemented it into their lives and got tremendous results. So really that's how it all came about, and that's the story.
Wow, I never, in all the time that I've known you, I've never known that backstory. That's amazing. So if we take it one step further, because, you're not the normal chiropractor, who is it that can benefit from what you teach, and how easy is it to teach somebody what, how to, practice some of this? Because I think it's absolutely fascinating.
Well, I think that anybody who has a desire to evolve and to change can benefit. People, if you have a spine and you breathe and you can smile, then you're good. Like I said, I taught it to my children, so it's easy. And does it work? Absolutely. I've proven that thousands of times. And how long does it take? Of course, like all things, how much time you invest will be the outcome that you get.